Make sure I got my gun so I can do some shooting here. Weird. Let's fly through Longview at 55 miles an hour, and when a man pulls out doing the speed limit, we're gonna act like he's doing something wrong. That makes sense, huh? Weird. What's up, everybody? It has been a lost day. My daughter announced last night that I would need to watch the kid all day today, so my day has been filled with watching my grandson. So when I have to watch him, no work gets done. And my daughter isn't courteous enough to offer any money for watching my grandson. Not that I require money to watch my grandson. I love spending time with my family. That ain't no big deal. But kids just don't understand. They're like what's owed to them. Hands that my dad watched my kids. My dad would never watch my kids, ever. My dad would do none of the sort. I could probably count on one hand with 4 fingers left over how many birthdays of mine my dad attended. My dad just didn't care. He just wasn't there. Now my mom and dad have been married almost 50 some years, but my dad would never, no birthdays, no nothing. You'd lucky if you got my dad out of bed for Christmas to open up presents. My dad just didn't care about anything. He'd work his 40 hours a week, come home, put his jogging pants on, and sit there for the remaining 6 hours that day in the afternoon and rub his balls in his recliner. That was it. My dad didn't care. He never went the extra mile, never put in the extra effort, nothing. My dad was one of the most. So I'm not going to be that way with my children, and I've never been that way. I'm always going to be a better dad than my dad was. And that's what you should strive to be, is be better than your parents were. And that's actually should be a parent's goal in life, that their children turned out better than they were, more successful than they were, more loving than they were. So it is what it is. So late start to my day. Hope you guys are well. Dustin, things are looking up. No, things are not looking up. But thank you for asking. Things are not looking up. I gotta watch what I say, because God says we say something bad, then bad things are gonna happen. I don't know. I'm in that burnout stage. I'm just burned out. I mean, when you've worked as long and hard as I have, and you know that no matter what you do, the government can come in and take everything from you. I was reading a post today. I'm on a couple of them prepper pages and off-grid pages online, and this woman and her husband in North Carolina bought like 6 acres of land. They were going to do off-grid. They did everything, and they get to the point of building a tiny home in the state of North Carolina. Said, nope, no tiny homes. Let them put a septic tank, let them put a well, let them do all that stuff, and they said, nope, you can't have a tiny home. They said, well, we'll live in a camper. Nope, can't live in a camper, can't do anything. People in America need to wake up and realize it doesn't matter if you pay your land off and it's in your name. It don't belong to you. This country's gone. They do not want us to be self-sufficient at all. That's why there's so many laws, and people say, well, there are a lot of tiny home communities around the country. Not really. They say, oh yeah, North Carolina's very tiny home friendly. No, it's not. Not in North Carolina, it's not. It's like my buddy, he's got a piece of land. He wanted to bring in one of those little utility buildings, little wooden ones that they like a Leonard building. He wanted to bring it in, set it up, and then live in it. They said, nope. If you want to tear it out, if you want to bring it in, tear it all the way apart, and then rebuild it, then it's built on your property, then we might be able to get it zoned to be there for you to live in. But you can't bring in an already built building and put it there. I've got some comments to make today, and it's about a name a lot of you may know and a lot of you will not know. James Freeman, one of the larger YouTube channels, and you could say concerning government accountability. I first came across James Freeman's channel about the time that Gavin Syme, I don't know if you guys know who Gavin Syme is, Gavinseim. Gavin Syme. You need to really look up Gavin Syme and look what happened to him. He was in this little town, him and his family, and the town kept terrorizing him. He's going to court every other week, getting arrested every other week for just wanting to be free. So James Freeman kind of came in, and he got his fame off of Gavin trying to help Gavin. Gavin had a big following, so then James went in where the following was, and then he leached followers off of Gavin's channel. Gavin eventually, him and his family left America. They put he was convicted in a court of law for a non-crime. They convicted him of a crime he did not commit, and he was looking at 2 or 3 years in prison. So him and his family packed up and went to the lower part of Mexico, down past Guadalajara, Mexico. So that's where I first saw James Freeman. His real name is James Springer. Now, I have been a fan. If you've watched any government accountability, you've seen a lot of viral moments from James Freeman. And I'm all about fighting for your rights, standing up, speaking out. As far as James Freeman goes, he put a video out, and it changed my whole view on him. I still enjoy his content. I still watch it. But now he has elevated himself where he thinks he's a lot bigger and a lot more important than he is. But in this video, talking directly to the camera, he said, I hate this freaking country, and I'm going to sit back and gladly record its downfall. He's one of these libertarians. Everybody should be able to invade America. We should be able to do anything we want. We should be able to blah, 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 blah. Libertarians are some of the misguided morons in our society. They will stand for nothing all day long just to win nothing. Proudly stand for nothing. So when James Freeman said, I'm gonna document the downfall of this freaking place they call America. I can't stand it. And I knew right then, what's the point? Now, he's won some pretty good lawsuits because he's been violated several times from corrupt police departments in Texas to corrupt military bases in California. He's won some really big cases. It helps when you have the means to be able to do that. So when he says he hates this country, see, I hate my government, but I love America. And if we would have just followed the Constitution, we wouldn't be in the position we're in now. But weaker men before us came along and said, no, we're going to water that thing down so we can loot every last penny out. So it was last week, James Freeman went down to Mississippi with Ron Durbin. Ron Durbin, the name of his channel is Guerrilla Publishing. Ron Durbin is a lawyer out of Oklahoma who exposed a DEI hired black female judge in Oklahoma who every day after court would go to a bar and do 10 to 20 shots at a bar as her grandson, her toddler grandson, sat beside her. Then she would get in a car drunk as Cootie Bear and drive down the road. Ron Durbin exposed her, had a private investigator follow her, document it, spoke out about it, and then they went, the Oklahoma bar suspended his law license for exposing a corrupt judge. So Ron Durbin said, you know what, they're going to do that to me. I'm going to expose all these crooked centers of justice. So he goes down to Mississippi, and he wanted to do a couple videos on the civil rights when it comes to the state of Mississippi, because there are some real tyrants in Mississippi. I don't know if it's black officers are just dumber than any other cop, or they just hate any other citizen to have rights. If you got a black man, a white man, and a Mexican man in a cop costume in a room, it'll be that black cop that'll take down a black man in a heartbeat before anybody else. For some reason, blacks think if another black man gets up with me or above me, he is my enemy. So Ron goes down to Mississippi. He gets violated one day by a crooked redneck cop in public. So then they all decided Ron together with Guerrilla Publishing, his son, and a couple other people, another guy named Sean, and James Freeman, they're all going to go down to Mississippi and hold this place accountable. So I go down there, Ron Burgundy's he's in the mayor's office, talking to another DEI hire, and they arrest Ron. Well, James runs outside like a scared little bitch. Well, I'm not going to get arrested. I'm not going to get arrested. So Ron goes to jail for like a day and a half. And the cops start looking around for a reason to arrest everybody else. So when you ride with somebody and you shake each other's hands and say, man, I got your back, you have his back. Don't you back down. Don't you puss out. If I need to go down, I expect you to get me out. If you go down, I'm going to get you out. You get me out, I get you out. Teammates, that's what we did was stick together. Well, when the kitchen got a little too hot for James Freeman, him and the other guy, Sean, who should have backed Ron up as well, they all took off. They hit the brake. Don't get locked up. So James leaves, and he goes through another crooked town in Mississippi. Or is it Arkansas? Might have been Arkansas. James goes through another little town, and in this town, there's already a federal lawsuit against this town for pulling over out-of-state tags. Any car that goes through there with an out-of-state plate, they pull them over, ticket them, give them a court date. It's just a money grab. So they arrest James Freeman for a cockamamie reason, no reason at all, give a court date in 3 days. So James asks his oldest, hey man, should I fight this? Just pay it off and go. So I was like, well, you need to fight. Now James has got the means. He's got like 6 kids. They got a camper, a piece of land. They got several businesses, not to mention 300, 400,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is worth 10 grand a month on YouTube. He's $10,000 a month. I know it's hard to fathom, but he's generating a lot of money. So if I had an unlimited source of income, you couldn't keep me out of jail. I would be going to jail every single day, lining up the lawsuits. Bam, 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 bam. So James stays over for 3 days, shows up for court, and the judge isn't there, and they can't condemn the case. So James goes on a live stream when he gets out of court. Guys, I'm just not going to fight it. I'm just going to pay it and go about my way. You can't really ever win, so I'll just pay it. What's the point? That's the point. They ticket you, so it's an inconvenience, and you pay it. So in other words, they rob you. They rob you. We'll take your freedom if you don't give us money. It's ransom. So James, with money to get out, money to fight, and a platform for people to back him up, as I said, go all over Google reviews where Jeff Gray's been, all the larger channels, even the smaller channels. You go to Google reviews for police departments all over the country, you'll see me in the Google review page. I'm on the phone. Today I called Jackson County, Kansas today. I talked to the DA, I talked to the sergeant of Jackson County Sheriff's Office, I talked to the clerk of court in Jackson County, Kansas. I'm on the phone making phone calls, raising hell and taking names. But here's James Freeman. No, I ain't gonna fight. I'm just gonna pay it off. Freaking coward. I mean, and you can when you listen to James Freeman, and it really shows this one day. He was cussing a cop. He's like, "You're a bitch." And when he said that, you could tell that James has never yelled at another man before. ever. Never yelled at another man. So in other words, he's a frauditor. He is a frauditor, and I hate that term, except when it applies. You've got the means, you've got the ability, and you've got the bully pulpit to fight with. Well, you're just going to pay it off? Well, I may lose a couple $1,000. Well, if you got a couple $1,000, you take the loss now when you get the win later. Listen, I know the justice center, there's no justice in America. There's not. I mean, in this day and age, we've still got criminals like the Jackson County, Kansas commissioners, where they're still writing polite policies for a city council meeting. They claim that it's unlawful to talk mean to people in a council meeting. I mean, this is time after time after time, case law after case law after case law, and the city attorneys just sit there and write the same bullshit, get them in a lawsuit, and of course, when it goes to the district court in these little areas, these podunk towns with these good old boy judges, and of course they're going to find an innocent man guilty for being mean, saying bad things. The podunk judges have immunity. They're allowed to violate your rights right and left, and it does. It takes years to get through the system. It's a pain in the ass. But if you got the money and the platform, the bully pulpit to do it, you do it. I mean, you guys, I haven't even shared the voicemails and the conversations I've had with my local police department threatening my freedom, telling me that they sit down regularly and watch my channel, and they're going to go through every single thing I've said online. They're going to go through my Facebook. They're going to go through my everything and find a crime to lock me in prison. They unlawfully trespassed me from the property from my house. They've done everything they can to shut me up, but I just don't have that bone in my body. You know, well, I don't know if it's a bone or maybe it's an organ. I just don't have a vagina like James Freeman's got. But see, nobody will say something like that to James Freeman because he's got a big channel and he can make or break you. Ain't nobody gonna help me. Look, I've got 660 subscribers. Tell me how I can't get but 6 people in a live stream. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you? Out of 650 people, all I could come up with is 6 people on a live stream. You see where there's there's something funny going on? But James Freeman can fart on camera and he'll get 250,000 views. Is that bizarre to anyone else but me? So the people that have been elevated in this community, they don't have the sack or it takes to fight. If you've ever heard of Chili DeCastro delete laws, Chili started out on TikTok. He calls himself, or someone called him, a constitutional law scholar. Now, when Chili comes on and he does his, when he tries to help people sue law enforcement, it is the cringiest thing that you will ever watch. And it makes me cringe. I really cringe. But I saw Chili DeCastro go around the country helping people fight corrupt law enforcement. Now, James Freeman doesn't mind attacking Chili DeCastro, calling him out and calling him stupid and calling him a shill and this and that and the other. James Freeman will call out a man who's actually getting things done, but ain't got the balls to stand up himself. What's the problem with that? I mean, Chili has made things happen. Just like when Chili was unjustly convicted of interference with a law enforcement officer and resisting arrest. I did a breakdown of the video. I did a breakdown of what happened. I did a breakdown of the court. And I told you this is going to be overturned. This is unjust. Chili DeCastro spent 4 months in prison for a crime he did not commit. You know how long James Freeman sat in jail? themselves look better. But when James attacked Chili, I'm like, why is he attacking Chili? I mean, they're on the same live stream and they're talking, making fun of Chili. I'm like, well, why are you making fun of him? So let me get this straight. Chili the Gangster is actually helping people. He's taking his own time, he's taking his own money, uses his own reputation to help people write up lawsuits, helping them file the paperwork, helping expose the criminal actions. And you want to criticize him? What are you doing, James Freeman? Nothing. So what's the point of having that channel unless you're just acting? And listen, James has been violated just as many times as anybody else has. He runs around, he runs into a lot of tyrannical morons. But what is more tyrannical? Driving through a little town and being pulled over because your plate has a different station. It's never been this many times. So I don't understand. James Freeman can just post a phone number online. Just post a phone number online. 1,000 people making phone calls just like that. News now. I think he's in Texas. This guy got a ticket on a sidewalk because he waved his middle finger at a store owner. I called 7 county commissioners in that town, and I called the police department and raised hell. You think any county commissioner called me back? You think the mayor called me back? No. You think the police department called me back? No. You think anybody called me back? No. Did I get a reward? Did I get views for making these phone calls? No. Or did I get views for making these phone calls? No. But I know they violated his rights for writing a ticket for showing your middle. They violated his rights for writing a ticket for showing your middle finger. It's just like in Jackson, Kansas. You can see it on the Dreaded Rebel Rouser on YouTube or Lawrence Accountability on YouTube. These guys go to a city council meeting in Jackson County, Kansas, and the Dreaded Rebel Rouser, Dr. Justin Spees, is standing over here, and these three stooges on the city on the county commission hate these outsiders that have come in and recorded them is disturbing the meeting. How do you disturb a meeting if you're standing quietly? You don't. So these two terror pig sheriffs come up, threaten to arrest him for standing in a saying not one word. They unlawfully trespass him, then they unlawfully trespass Lawrence Accountability for sitting quietly in a public meeting and